Hi. For some reason, people like to ask me about fitness tips, especially things to do with weight training. So, which exercises work out which muscles. And I don't know exactly why, because I'm not actually a fitness professional. I go to the gym a fair bit, but I've got no formal qualifications. So anyway, I'm making this short video about this particular topic. So firstly, before I start discussing that, I have to say that what I'll be discussing today is just general principles. So it's not a blanket rule. There are plenty of exceptions, just general principles. And secondly, it's important to come to grips with the idea that muscles actually work in groups. So they don't actually work in isolation. So when you're working one muscle out, you're kind of working another set of muscles as well. So firstly, one general principle to allow beginners to understand it is if you actually lift your arms up and you tilt your body around this way, whatever is in front of you, right, is generally worked out. You could exercise it using pushing motions, and whatever's behind, you tend to work out using pulling motions. So I'll give you some example. Let's go through this from the big muscle groups and then the small muscle groups on your upper body. So firstly, for your chest, right? In order to work out your chest, anything that makes you push forward. So the force is here and you have to push it. Anything that makes you push forward tends to work out your chest. And as for your shoulders, anything that makes you push your load upwards or towards the side, that will work your shoulders. And then we come to the triceps. There are several ways to do this, either holding a weight and doing this motion. See, it's a pushing motion, or your standard dips. That's a pushing motion as well, isn't it? Now let's move on to the back of your body. If you want to work your back out, it involves pulling motions. So for example, your pull-ups or your lat pull down, you're actually pulling something towards you. That will work your back out. Similar to variations of the rows. So you've got a load there and you're pulling it towards you. That will also work out your back. And of course, what's very standard, how to work your biceps, bicep curl, pulling motion, carry a weight, pull it towards you, keeping your back straight, of course. And the same principles tend to apply to your lower body as well, all the way down to your knees. Your exception will be the calves. So if you look at it this way, right, it's pretty much the same motion if you're looking at the machines at the gym. So there's this leg extensions, which actually involves um, a pushing motion. So that'll work your quads. See, it's in the on the front part of your body, and if you're pushing it this way, that's what it's primarily working. Whereas the hamstring curls, which involves having your legs straight and then pulling the weight towards you like this, pulling, that'll work your hamstrings at the back. So this is just a general principle. And two more things I want to mention. Firstly, if you do want to start a weight training program in the gym, it's very important to learn the principle that you have to do your compound exercise first. So compound exercise are what works your big muscle groups. So for example, your chest and your shoulders and your back, rather than smaller muscle groups. So because when you're doing compound exercises, your smaller muscle groups like your biceps and your triceps actually contribute to it. So it's a more effective workout on the overall. You're getting more bang for your buck. And the last thing is, if you're actually trying to put on mass and you're incorporating weight training, or actually even if you're not trying to put on mass, but you want to do some cardio as well, cardiovascular exercise, things like, running, cycling, jogging, these are actually very good for, your heart health, and um, there are plenty of other benefits as well. But then you should always do that after your weight training exercise if you want to be able to do both. Because then imagine if you're trying to lift weights after an intense cardio session, you won't have enough energy. Whereas for the other way around, you still would be able to do some cardio after an intense weightlifting session. In fact, it's kind of therapeutic if you do that. So this is all for now. Remember, I'm not an expert. These are just very general principles as to which motions work out which muscles. So just remember, front pushing motions, back pulling motions, right? Have a good